Some devils. J-Dog back to answer some more goddamn questions. And I got them on my computer here. I prefer them printed out because it makes it a little easier. Because if I click off the goddamn camera link, it fucks me and I lose the whole video. And I've done that more than once. Pretty pissed off too, to say the least. So I don't have a printer at my fucking house, so I only print them off when I'm at the goddamn warehouse. So we make do with what we got. And paid questions go to the front of the line. These came through. Well, this one came through yesterday. Then we got one more. They're both kind of review slash just my opinion, I guess. Um, so the first one is from Salva. He said, "I'd like you to check this. Band's called Warlam. So all you guys out there, Warlam says, full album is not out yet, but I figured it'll be worth those $10 to share it. It's private on YouTube. I mean, yeah, I don't know why the fuck you gave me the YouTube link. That's right there, man. It's like, what the fuck you doing? Why would you have it private? Like, are you trying to move records or not? You trying to advertise your shit? You're not. You just putting this music out so your mom can hear it, or are you fucking putting it out for the public? I mean, I don't give a fuck one way or another. Just if you're trying to put shit out for the masses to hear, private for what? And another thing too is I couldn't find much else about your band, so I'm not gonna have a whole lot to comment other than the music that I listen to. Shit ain't on fucking Metal Archives either. At least I searched it. Warlam didn't come up. Got to get that shit on Metal Archives, brah. Like that's nobody's gonna know what the fuck you are otherwise. Between that and you having a private YouTube page, I thought it'd be great for you to hear you tearing it up, but don't be too hard, please. No, I thought it was pretty good. I may be an inedible effect in today's trend, and may quit forever if I hear something I don't like. I did also artwork and production, by the way, so feel free to criticize that too. Sounded okay to me, brah. And now let me squeeze the last pennies with the question. Also, he has a question too. So, my take on the tunes. I mean, yeah, it was nothing overly original or crazy, but it sounded pretty good. It was definitely real goddamn metal. The first band that popped in my mind was like Sodom, like see, probably a little bit after Persecution Mania, like probably like um, Agent Orange and Tapping the Vein type era. So solid shit, but definitely not like whoa, I've never heard this before. So I would say to anyone that likes that era of Sodom, it's at least worth listening to. So if that's some of your favorite music in the world, go check out the band Warlam. That's WARLAMB, War Lamb. All the dum dums out there. And then so his question, I rarely hear any talk about production in metal. I think one reason why most modern metal sucks and music in general, to be honest, is the lack of good production. And I don't mean with good production to have everything sounding pristine, every instrument clearly heard, everything balanced and all of that new age shit ideas. For example, I think we can all agree 90s death metal had a good sound. It depends who you ask. I know guys that can't fucking stand it. They had a unique feeling. The thing is lacking now, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on this? What is your favorite album production wise? Thanks for your attention. Have a nice day, Salva. Favorite album production wise? I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying, but what I think is a lot of the stuff that I like, that's what people think sounds like shit. But as far as you saying stuff like, basically what you're trying to get at is the production is, I think you're trying to get at is, stuff's just kind of overproduced. At least that's the most biggest critique that I hear with people when they're talking about production. That this is nothing new at all, man. This has been going on since for fucking forever. I mean, realistically, you can make that argument. I remember when people started really bitching, they bitch about Vader, Immolation. I mean, I remember when Immolation and Holy Cult came out. I'm gonna leave names unmentioned. People were tearing that record apart, dude. What's up with these fucking wanky ass fucking guitar riffs? The production is terrible, just completely fucking polished junk. I liked it. That's the last album I really know the music down. After that, I don't know the albums as well. I own them all. I like them all. But from there, they kept that same production. So it's just funny how everybody worships goddamn Immolation. But I remember that being kind of the current theme in the metal scene where it's like, you were a false if you did if you only liked some guys. It was Dawn of Possession only, which I don't agree with that. But some people would say first two or three. But Vader was guilty as fuck of that. Christian people would tear apart, guilty as fuck of that. Um, Obviously the bands like Dame Borg or any of that black metal stuff. A lot of the black metal stuff too, yeah. A lot of people would rip on just for the overly produced. A lot of the brutal shit, the sick shit, man. Um, Overproduced as fuck. So it's kind of your take on it. Now, I think some guys get carried away because it's like they almost have like this law of the land about it. That's for the production. It's like, yeah, but dude, the songs come first, and you're discrediting a lot of really good ass albums just based on production. And it's like, okay, so it is clear. My thing is where I don't like it is a lot of albums lose their own charisma. So it's not necessarily like, oh, if it sounds like Vader, this sounds like shit. The problem is that, how do I want to say this? That with as many bands as there is out there, and now that the genre has been around for give or take fucking 40 years, death metal, if you're counting Seven Churches, 85, the genre's been around roughly 40 years. That's the true math. When people don't do the math, they think, I don't even know what some of these fucking idiots fucking think, but yeah, roughly death metal has been in existence for give or take 40 years. Seven Churches, Scream Bloody Gore, etc. That's when death metal was fucking created. It hasn't been around since, well, we're talking Black Sabbath. Well, Black Sabbath's not death metal, dude. You could argue metal has been around for fucking whatever 1970 would be, fucking whatever that is, 50 years on now, 53 years. You can make that argument. So that metal has existed for 53 years max, because there's nothing you can even argue is metal before Black Sabbath in my goddamn book. And death metal has been around just under 40 years. So having said that, the genre is, it's in its adulthoods. It's been around. So nobody's doing anything original. It's going to be just another Swedish band or another band that sounds like Immolation, another band that sounds like Incantation, another band that sounds like Suffocation, another band that sounds like Cannibal, another band that sounds like Deicide, whatever. So when you have that, you got nothing original. It loses its character and charisma with the overproduction, as opposed to when you, I guess character wasn't as big of a thing because you could still create your own, charisma character because everything hasn't been done 10 million fucking times. For example, that's why Vader got a pass. Who the fuck? Not talking about bands that came along. Like, for example, you have, who's that goddamn band on Oxygen Destroyer, shit like that. You put on, kind of sounds like the first Vader. I'm not talking about newbies coming along. I'm talking about when Vader was around, let's say 2000 down. The year 2000. A lot of you fucking guys weren't even alive. That year down, in the years Vader was around, 87 of then, who sounded like Vader? Pretty much nobody. And if you can name anybody, 1, 2, 3 bands max. So let's just say Dogs Out of the Loop, there was 3 other bands. Okay, 3. So when they had that overproduction, like on Litany and stuff like that, or kind of any of the albums, they were pretty cleanly produced. Revelations, and I think that was 2003 or so. And De Profundis, it's all crystal clear. The only one that's kind of like has any type of rawness whatsoever would be the first album, which I don't even think that's the best album. The reason to take away from it is because Vader still had its own character. It had its own charisma. It was still an original band. Like you put on De Profundis or you put on Black to the Blind or those, that was a death metal album you put on. You're like, nobody else sounds like this. Doesn't sound like Cannibal. Doesn't sound like Deicide. Doesn't sound like Morbid Angel. Doesn't sound like the Tish. Doesn't sound like Incan. Doesn't sound like Baphomet. Doesn't sound like any grind or gore grind. And he had his own voice. It literally sounded like nobody. So people would hate on that. I'm like, but you're hating on like a good original sounding band. I don't with good fucking memorable songs. I mean, Carnal, that's no good. You know what I mean? It's like they had songs that were very good and memorable with extreme fucking blast too, which none of these fucking idiots for the most part back then and today can do. It's just blast and blast and blast, just the blasting. Great, you got no songs. You want to hear some good blast? Go put on Vader Litany. Go put on Vader Black to the Blind, De Profundis. There's some sick ass fucking blasting, but their songs are good and memorable and you can differentiate them. That's how you use blast. You don't use blast otherwise. You're not cool just because you got blast. Okay, you got super fast blast, but guess what, brah? You got no songs, so it doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. So that's how I identified it. It does have its own character, but productions and shit. I like to be honest. It's it's funny because it's the stuff people don't like. Like an album, 2 albums I think are really great. I'm just looking because I got pictures of this on my wall across from me. Exhumed Gore Metal and Impaled Dead Shall Dead Remain, the 2 originals, but they re-recorded those. They think they sound like shit. part of the reason those albums were so fucking great is how they sound. It was raw, but not demo raw, and it had its own character. Like you put on Dead Shall Dead Remain with it, that album sounds superiorly fucking heavy to Mondo Metacoli. And Mondo Metacoli, I love it too. I think that's a 10 as well, but it sounds more thin, not as heavy, not as dirty, and a little bit just more radio friendly, for lack of better terms, than Dead Shell. Dead Shell had more character. Because now when Mono Metacoli came out, there's other bands that are like, oh, let's play this Carcass style stuff too. And then when Ghoul and stuff come around, they had a similar feel to it. I'm not saying that they sounded just like that, but a similar feel, as opposed to nobody else that was doing those albums around those times had the same feel or character as Dead Shall Dead. And that's what would separate them. That's why a lot of demos and shit are so goddamn good. The only demos and stuff from when you get them like the early 90s, late 80s that aren't as good is because they're the lack of, they're not the greatest songwriters. And there's definitely a lot of demos that like, some people, again, just like it to like it because it came out in 88. It's a death metal demo. It doesn't mean it's good, dude. Some of them, they're too young or whatever, just completely piss poor fucking songwriters. But the demos that sounded good and not ones that people bust shit out too. They like to try to be completely obscure. Like, for example, there's the band Hell House, which the dog owns a bootleg 7-inch. I think that demo was 85. Some people like to bust it out like, oh, this is the most obscure shit ever. And like, first death metal, I'm like, the vocals and shit sound cool and extreme, but let's call it like it is, man. The thing sounds like shit. You can't even tell what's going on. Does that really even count? But people like to bust that out just to be the more elitist, I guess. And then it'll just the fucking, I guess, brownie points, which is it's funny because at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck. But whatever. But demos that sounded, the good raw recording, what gave it its character was that it wasn't this fucking overproduction produced thing. So that's why a lot of times the demos are fucking great. So, like for example, listen to the goddamn Vader demos. Who sounds like that? Nobody. Literally fucking nobody. So, but do I have a particular favorite sounding album? I mean, off the top of my head, fucking no. So that's kind of my take on production. From Michael Joseph Araso. This was a paid goddamn question, like just get my opinion on, I guess. What up, J Dog? Newer subscriber here. Love the content. Been watching every day for a couple months. Now, Brad, don't ask how I came across this channel where these canoes react to Twinkcore. Mm-hmm. And thought it was the most deplorable thing I've ever seen with my own two eyes, and thought the dog has to see this. I clicked on it. It was pretty bad. Going to link a video down below. Skip to a minute in and watch these canoes get their brains blown by some gay core. Yeah, I have it brought up here. It's they're reacting so you guys can get a good fucking laugh. Just put it on. It's like, dude, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't even know why this needs explaining. The channel is Metal Cast, all one word, Metal Cast, podcast, and the title of this video is Motionless in White dash Meltdown, which because the band Motionless in White, which I never knew who that band fucking was, never even heard of that dumbass bullshit prior to this channel. To be completely honest, never heard them until just now either. Dash Meltdown Reaction. If you want to get a laugh. They got 3.5. Oh, so they're a smaller channel. So there's your shout out, guys. Let's go over their devils and just light them up and just talk about all this fucking goddamn twink core, dude. Like, I'm gonna click on their fucking thing, see what other videos. Oh, bunch of fucking slack fucks. They look like a bunch of lazy punk ass kids of today too that don't even have jobs, just living off mommy and daddy. That's what they look like. Yep. One dude's in mommy's bedroom. Oh yeah, he don't own that master bedroom. It's just two little fucking kids who don't have jobs. Slack fucks. Last video 5 months ago. What the fuck you been doing for the last 5 months, brah? That ain't fucking Eye of the Tiger. They ain't a go getter. That's a slack fuck, dude. Just all this poser pussy shit. Whitechapel, Sleep Token. What the fuck is even that? Spirit Box. I've never even heard of. Here's the thing, and people, and again, I don't even know why I have to explain this, but it makes for fun conversation, I guess, on the channel. At least some of you guys are probably sick of fucking hearing it, but hey, whatever. Guy fucking sent a paid question, and to be honest, this type of topic, it seems what people that like to click on the most. So I'll talk about it, but to be honest, I'm getting a little bored talking about it myself. And I don't even think it needs explaining. What do you care what people like, dog? Who cares? It's not that I care. If they called that shit alternative rock, granted that's a style of music, especially from the 90s, but let's just say whatever. That was what they called it, this Motionless in White. Alternative rock. I would have no issue. What do you even talk about the music? How often do I even bring up? Yeah, exactly. What I guess is alternative. Smashing Pumpkins guy yesterday, Soundgarden. The reason I bring that shit up is because it's irrelevant to this scene. I just surprised anybody likes that kind of music. But when they're bringing the metal scene, like, oh fuck, dude, that's just an easy rip on, right? That's why I really bring it up. There's nothing to bring up. It doesn't cross over into our scene. This deathcore shit is just it's crossing over, and I'm like, dude, I'm literally like, for example, if I'm out and about anywhere, the gym or restaurant or gas station, anywhere in a public setting, and if music gets brought up for whatever because they see your shirt, which just rarely happens, but just say in the event that it did, and if somebody say, "What kind of music do you like?" At this point, it's becoming borderline embarrassing to say metal music or death metal because they think this shit. They think that that's what I'm listening to. They think Motionless in White. Dude, I put it on for stars. Yeah, these two kids. It's like, dude, again, they're using our words, metal cast. Okay, so these guys, they're the same. They're hanging out with the dog. They're into the same shit as a dog. And that's what your nanas and grannies and fucking daddies and papas and aunties, unkies and cuzzies that don't know this. They're thinking you're the same thing. I'm like, don't compare me with this fucking guy, dude. These two are fucking deplorable fucking Screech Powers, goddamn fucking Family Matters, fucking Steve Urkel nerds that do not even remotely represent metal music just by looking at them. Because these are a bunch of pushover fucking pussies that like fucking pussy shit. That damn sure that dude, they don't even know the mild of fucking underground shit. The mild, well, what's the mild of fucking underground shit? The Incantations, Asheron, shit like that, bands like that. They don't even know what it is. They're completely oblivious. And I put this motionless, so I saw the reaction. So the guys themselves, completely deplorable looking, want nothing to do with what so fucking ever. And then the music comes on. I'll give the Motionless in White this. It didn't have all the yelling fucking vocals that I thought, all the twink core was. So I was like, okay, it sounded a little different. What did it sound like though? I was like, fast forward years. I'm like, this literally sounds exactly spot on to fucking Rammstein from the 90s, which that was another band. They were the early forefront getting pushed in with the fucking metal scene. Then vocals kick in. Who's it sound like? Manson. I was like, this is a Motionless and this is a Rammstein slash Rammstein band. Whatever, not for the dog. But these guys are like banging their heads like, oh my, holy shit, this is heavy. That's literally what they're doing. And you're just like, bravo, you want to hear some fucking real shit? Go put on that goddamn Exhumed gore metal. Put on some fucking Last Days of Humanity. You want old school, real, classic fucking metal? Go put on some fucking Blood Feast, Kill for Pleasure. Sacrifice, Torment and Fire. Real goddamn metal. Overkill, Feel the Fire. They don't know what that shit is. They have no idea. Literally, when I heard that Motionless in White shit, I'm not even exaggerating. The scene, the fucking Simpsons steel mill scene fucking pops into my side and pops into my fucking head. That we work hard, we play hard, and that fucking dance ball comes down and whatever they're playing MC Hammer or something. All these gay guys are dancing around. I just picture that scene, but only Motionless in White's playing. I was like, this is gay bar rock that people are calling like they're referring to it as extreme metal. And again, if that's what you're into, don't care, but don't fucking equate it to goddamn the real shit. It's just like the goddamn people that are into horror movies and stuff like that are diehard into it. They like all the gory, the slasher movies, the cult fucking underground shit, and then some kiddo, some 19-year-old metal cast looking motherfucker on there comes up and be like, what do you think of that? Those scare. What is that fucking? When there was a gag, like it's like a PG-13 Hollywood movie that came out in 2020. They're asking you about that. You're like, dude, Jesus fuck. That's what you put on for your fucking 5-year-old sister when you're like, I gotta put a movie on and I don't want to watch cartoons. But it was like that'll be not too scary for her. That's what you put on is that. Motionless in White and all this fucking this shit you're sending, That's literally that's for girls, dude. That's the fucking little to me, that shit, the best way I could describe it is that is we described the other day the girls in the soccer van in the back that are 7, 8 years old, dancing and shit in the back to fucking Backstreet Boys and shit. When they get that fucking stick up their ass, stuck up, don't want to talk to their parents, bitch fucking attitude, 12, 13, 14 years old, they're getting rebellious and they're wanting to be fucking just tough. They get into shit like Motionless in White. Whitechapel. They get into that. That's 4, 12, 13, 14-year-old girls who are just now going through puberty that think they're cool, think they're tough. That's who that music's for, man. A 20 guy in his 20s who's supposed to be a man. That's not man music, dude. That's pussy metal, brah. That's fucking for 12-year-old girls who just find out what a period is. That's what kind of music that shit is. And you guys are walking around like you're listening to tough shit. But make society in this weak ass, fucking pathetic as fuck, want nothing to do whatsoever. 2023 fucking society fits the bill perfectly for them. Place the dog doesn't want to be in. Comes with the you know what they do. Put the guy get in the morning later, goddamn it.